Alright, Three from Hell. The final installment in Rob Zombie's Firefly trilogy. I already reviewed House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects in previous 31 Days of Spooks installments, so now it's time to review the last one, Three from Hell. So once again, it's written and directed by Rob Zombie. Sherry Moon Zombie and Bill Moseley both reprised their roles. Sid Haig, unfortunately, only has a couple scenes early on in the movie because he died during this film's production. And they got a new guy who is Bill Moseley's character is like half-brother or some shit. I don't know, this movie's story is so fucking dumb and stupid, I didn't really care to know who the actor was or what his actual role in the movie was, but yeah. So basically, the Firefly family, they escape from prison, they're on the run, they end up going to Mexico at some point. They cause another round of fucking chaos and murder and shit like that. Let's just get this shit over with. This movie sucks. Okay? It's really bad. This movie felt like Rob Zombie giving the middle finger to everybody. Remember how The Devil's Rejects ended? They get shot to death by a fucking police firing squad on the highway driving in that car, remember? They die. Well, in this movie, it says, fuck you. No, they didn't. They somehow survived getting riddled with bullets on the highway, driving high speed towards the cops. They're somehow in prison. Yeah, it's just, he just did that because, I wanted to make another movie, but I'm not going to fund it myself or have a studio fund it. I'm going to get all y'all motherfuckers to fund it for me. He did the same thing with the movie 31, except 31 is a better movie than this, so let me assure you that. And, yeah, so what's wrong with this movie exactly? Actually, do I have a couple of positives with this movie? Sure. I like Bill Moseley in this movie. He's easily the best part. If Sid Haig would have remained alive throughout this production, I would have said he was the best part because he was my favorite part of the first two movies, but no, because he's no longer with us and there's not much of him in this movie. So I'll say that Bill Moseley's the best part. There's a few good horror-ish moments. There's quite a bit of pretty decent looking gore in this movie too. But other than that, yeah, this movie's boring, uninteresting, stupid. This movie's tone is inconsistent. Because there's times where this movie's trying to be funny, like the first two movies, but then this movie's also taking itself the most seriously out of these three movies. Doesn't really make sense when you can't decide what kind of tone you want. If you want it to be darkly humorous like the first two or be completely serious, Rob Zombie can't seem to make up his fucking mind. And I'm kind of split on Sherry Moon Zombie as an actor because I know that Rob Zombie just puts her in his movies just to make her just to show off. Hey, look at how hot my wife is. Look at how hot my wife is. Am I right? There's times where I don't mind her. Like, I didn't mind her in The Devil's Rejects. Or House of a Thousand Corpses. Or the first Halloween. Like, the first Rob Zombie Halloween. I should correct myself there, but here, god damn is she annoying. Like, she's more annoying here than what she was in The Haunted World of El Super Beasto. And that's another movie that's better than this, by the way. In my opinion, this is Rob Zombie's worst movie, easily. And also, the final act of this movie. Okay, so, in the final act, they're in Mexico, right? And that's when Rob Zombie decides to ditch the horror genre altogether in this piece of shit and turn it into an action movie. Yeah, the final act is not horror, it's action. Why? Who the fuck knows? I don't know what was going through Rob Zombie's mind when making this, but I bet he was probably thinking, ah, shit, let's just fucking ditch the horror genre for once and make myself an action filmmaker for like the last 20-ish minutes of this movie's runtime. And I was thinking, holy fuck, and I thought The Munsters was his departure from the horror genre, but then I forgot about this movie's final act. Granted, before I rewatched this movie just for this review, I haven't seen this movie in like 6 years prior to rewatching this. The last time I rewatched this movie was when I bought the Blu-ray back when it first came out. Yeah, can't believe it's been that long already. Almost 6 years. But yeah, this movie's pacing is bad. It doesn't know if it wants to be a horror movie, an action movie, or a comedy. It's tonally inconsistent. A lot of the acting is really bad too. And another thing, this movie looks cheap. This is the cheapest looking out of these 3 movies easily, and probably out of Rob Zombie's whole career, other than The Munsters. If you're if you have an itch to scratch for Rob Zombie movies, definitely don't pick this one. Other than The Munsters or this, there's plenty of other movies of his you could watch. Oh yeah, don't watch Halloween 2 either, but I got reviews for Rob Zombie's Halloween movies coming out next year. Don't worry. I'm saving those for next year's 31 Days of Spooks. But anyways, yeah, don't watch this movie. It sucks. It was a massive disappointment when I watched it for the first time. I was like, but then again, what did I expect from a movie that completely disregards the ending of The Devil's Rejects? God damn. But yeah, I don't recommend 3 from Hell. I'm going to give 3 from Hell a D.